Testing, testing, 1, 2. Put a 2 in the chat if you can hear me. Oh, it's kind of hot as hell. Put a 2 if you can hear me, y'all. Must be a delay. Let me pull it up on my phone. Okay, I see the 2s. All right, y'all. We are joined today by my husband, Eric Bell. We are going to be getting into a few of the trending hot topics, Shannon Sharpe being one of them. Okay. Now, you brought up to me yesterday, who signed with them? Who signed with the draft thing?
Shedeur Sanders.
Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about that too. I'm going to get y'all feedback on that. Okay, so I already kind of went off a little bit yesterday about about Shannon Sharpe. I felt like what he did was a little silly and careless and all of that. So what I want to do is ask your opinion, my love. Like, do you feel like Shannon is stupid for what he did? Or do you feel like we're being way too harsh on him and critical when there's other people out there, maybe of a different race and background and money status and so on and so forth, that do the same thing, but they don't get as much scrutiny? Or is it a combination of both?
Nah, I think he's pretty much stupid for what he did.
No, come on, my love. You ain't gonna get a black man no grace?
No.
Okay, well, go ahead and go on.
It's not anything to go off on. I mean, I don't really concern myself with these other ethnic groups and what they do. You know, so I focus more on home. I focus more on my people. So that's why it seems to be more harsh, because that's who I deal with. I don't really concern myself with the other ethnic groups. You know, I let them deal with their own problems. So that's why it's kind of more harsh on my side, at least in my opinion, when it comes to Shannon Sharpe. But he should have known better, man. He should have known better. She looked like I said, extortion.
She looked like extortion.
She literally looks like, it's what she looks like. Like, it's written all over her face. Like, it's everything about that situation and that particular person looks like extortion. Looks like setup. Looks like all of that. So he should have better discernment than that, especially being, 57? Like, come on.
But I'm saying, okay, so she looked like a regular, innocent white girl.
No. No, she does not. 57.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
No, she doesn't.
What you mean she don't?
No, she doesn't. No. Like, it's hard to explain this to you, but no, she doesn't. Especially when you're a 57-year-old man in a certain tax bracket. Like, she doesn't look like. As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, yep. Like, I'm already, like, that's why it would be certain people, and I would be in that class. I would never get caught up in anything like that because my discernment is on point. Like, there's no way I would have been associating myself with that particular type of individual. And I saw that instantly, as soon as I saw the picture.
Okay, but looks can be deceiving.
Can be, but most of the time they're not, especially when you tapped in. I'm very tapped in.
So you know how to read between the lines and go deeper than the surface.
Why you think it ain't anything associated with my name as far as just doing weird stuff? Because I be tapped in. I have walked away from plenty of situations back in the day before it got weird because I sensed it before it got to that point. Like, come on, man, you could read people, man. It's easy. Just gotta be tapped in. Obviously, Brother Shannon is not tapped in. Or he just doesn't care or didn't care.
Let me ask the chat, okay? Put a 2 in the chat if you feel like Shannon is dumb for what he did. Put a 1 in the chat if it's like, y'all doing too much. Shannon ain't dumb. He just got caught up. It happens to the best of us. Y'all let me know. Okay, I see 2, nothing but 2s. Damn, Shannon. Okay, and I like Shan, and we both like Shan, my love. Like you put me on the club, Shay. Okay, so this is not coming from a place of us not liking him, and excuse me, trying to tear him down. Like we genuinely like, damn, like how did you do this? Like why? Now I will say this. Well, first let me ask you: do you believe a white girl? Do you feel like
it ain't even? I don't even care about believing a white girl. Now y'all already know how I roll with that. It's just even the fact that you had that type of relationship is enough for me. After I don't care what she's saying. Like, of course, she probably fabricating a lot of that, but he didn't admit it to having a relationship with her. That's the problem right there from the jump.
What you mean? Oh, you say he admitted to having?
He admitted to. So that's all I need to know. You admitted to having that type of relationship with the white chick, the young white girl. You admitted that. So, all right, there it is. You have set yourself up for that type of a situation, for her to make up and fabricate these type of stories. So of course, he probably lying for some of it, but
some of it?
Yeah, he admitted to doing, he admitted to at least having a sexual acts with her. And then that's another thing. If I'm in a certain tax bracket, I'm not about to be entertaining individuals that have weird fetishes, sexual fetishes. Like, nah, I'm not.
Wait. What if he is the weird?
I'm saying I'm not about to be. He could be on that. I'm talking me personally. Like, it's just certain things that I'm not about to be partaking in when I'm in a certain tax bracket, because that's a setup waiting to happen. So you got to eliminate certain. I'm just not going to be moving like that.
My love, now if you had,
I ain't doing it. You got to think, when you start making money, you got to think differently. Like, dudes be foolish. That's why they be fumbling the bag. Got to move differently. You got these weird sexual fetishes, and you start coming across these women, and you enter in a certain tax bracket, they about to get you. You liking to choke folks and all that, they gonna take your money. That's stupid. You better do some regular sexual activity when you get in a certain tax bracket. That's just real.
Wait, but what's regular is subjective.
No, we all know what regular sexual activity is. Choking don't fit that. Don't do that. I'm not about to be giving anybody that type of ammunition. We're not even entertaining that. Like, we're not even entertaining that when I'm in a certain tax bracket. Nope, not doing it. I'm going to be the most boring person on the planet when it comes to sexual activity. When I'm in a certain tax bracket, I'm keeping it real. You got to protect your investment. Everybody, at that moment, you got to start being a little cautious about the people that's choosing to associate with you on that level.
Okay, but what if you, so, but to that argument though, or to that point, what if I feel like I'm in a position of power and I have a certain tax bracket to where I feel like I can pretty much make sure that this type of thing does not get leaked?
They paying. He tried to silence her at first by giving her 10 million. These people paying. I'm not about to be coming out of pocket for that. The way that they silence these folks is with money. So I care about keeping my money. So I'm not about to be participating in this activity where I got to keep trying to give you hush money. These politicians and these entertainers, they be going broke by trying to folks. Hey, but I don't have time for that. I value keeping most of my wealth that I worked hard to build. So I'm not about to be providing all these people with this hush money, because that's what it is. Like, that's the way they silencing them. He offered her 10 million. She like, nah, I'm about to get more. I want 50. You know what I'm saying? So he tried to silence her because he thought he had this power. They gonna try to get more of your bag. So the more money you make, the more they trying to take from you. It's like taxes. So I ain't got time for that. No.
So you feel like it's an ongoing thing of
yeah. So you need to stop being freaky. Kendrick Lamar just told them they need to stay inside. Like Kendrick Lamar just told y'all what y'all need to do when y'all freaky. You know what I'm saying? So they need to stop doing that. Kendrick Lamar already let them know what to do, and they still out here being freaky and fumbling the bags. Like, that stuff is, just let some of that stuff go, man. It ain't that serious, man. If they got money to throw away like that, they can donate that money to better causes. Like, they just giving money to these women out here, like, for real.
No, let's clarify that giving this money to these hoes is a difference.
Man, they whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? But they giving this money to them, and they could donate that money to some better causes. But they want to just continue to be freaky. Stuff starting to get starting to get ridiculous.
No, we like to be a little freaky now.
It's not going to cost me 10 million or 50 million. It ain't that serious. I can tame that. But you know what I'm saying? Self-control, discipline. Like, for real, we got to stop doing that.
John Till says best part isn't skin color. She's an OF model.
Best part, dumbest part.
Oh, sorry. I can't read. Dumbest part isn't skin color. She's an OnlyFans model. And that is something as well. Like, And that's kind of what I said yesterday. I said at least go after, because like my love, let's be real, like we like to do freaky shit, but get with somebody.
Oh, y'all not listening.
No, but hear me out,
man.
But get with somebody that has just as much to lose, who cares about their reputation, who's not going to try to go and get a bag or air you out, because that can backfire on me. That can expose me, make me look a particular way. So, like, that would be my thing. Like, if I'm gonna be a freak, I'm gonna be a freak with somebody who is kind of on my level. Now, as far as you being as successful as me and making as much money as me, that could be, here nor there. But I'm talking about with your morals and values and integrity factor. You feeling like you have a reputation to uphold. Like, go and deal with those freaky ass people. You know what I'm saying? Like, not no OnlyFans model like John Till is talking about. Like, she's clearly a hustler. She's clearly somebody who is in a bind that needs some money real fast and real quick. And so she's gonna do whatever she wants to do to go and get that bag. But somebody, let's say that's a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, somebody known in their community, they're not going to want to jeopardize what they have going on for the sake of an almighty bag, because to them, their name, their reputation, what they have going on outweighs that.
Well, then we should be saying that about Shannon. Obviously, it don't. These people don't be caring. You would think Shannon would protect his reputation because of his worth. So what you saying don't even apply to these people because they keep fumbling bags. These people don't be caring because they think they could just throw money at the problem. So those people don't be caring either. They think they could throw money at the problem and it goes away. That's what they be thinking. That's what they be thinking. Because if what you saying is true, then it should apply to Shannon because he's in that position. But they choose to associate with these people for whatever reason. They choose to associate with these people for. Sometimes they don't want to be in those circles and mixing with those people. And they want to go get the OnlyFans. I don't know why they gravitate towards the people they be gravitating towards. But all I'm saying is, to protect myself and investment, I'm going to practice sexual discipline. I'm not about to be doing this freaky stuff out here when I got this type of bag coming in, because that's going to backfire 90% of the time, especially when you associating with OnlyFans model, regular folks. That's going to backfire. It's going to backfire. When they find out that's what you into, that's going to eventually get exposed and it's going to be used against you. So again, we always talking about freaky this, freaky that. Why don't we ever have a conversation about sexual discipline? That will stop a lot of these problems. Flat out. Yeah. Like, we never had that conversation, as if we can't do that. Like, that should be a conversation.
I mean, but I feel you, and we should have that conversation.
Like, Shannon need to sit down somewhere, man. You got, what I'm saying? Just sit down, bro. Why you trying to activate your fountain youth, and you trying to prove to us that you're not on the other side, with the rainbow community? Chill out, man. Like, that, you just chill, bro. Like, chill. He's doing too much. And a lot of the older folks that be messing around, the young boys, like, that's what they doing, trying to prove a point. Chill out, man. Sit down somewhere.
Okay. So you feel like this was more of like a ploy for him to prove his sexuality?
I feel like all of this stuff is, man. The little Michelle joint this. Yes, I feel like that plays a factor into that. I feel like if he wasn't getting accused of that, this stuff wouldn't have even really been happening for real. Like, straight up. Like, it be goofy. Like, these people, man, be having this money just be goofy, man. Like, it's not even, you would never hear my name associated with anything of that nature. Anything like that. If I'm signing 100 million deals, if you heard anything about me, the whole world gonna know it's a lie. Because I don't even place myself in environments to where I could even get accused of associating with an OnlyFans model. Like, I don't even place myself in those rooms, in those type of situations, to where I can even get accused of stuff like that. If I was signing $100 million contract, somebody was like, came out that eBay was messing with OnlyFans, everybody gonna be like, man, dude, don't even associate with it. Like, the world gonna vouch for me, because I don't even place myself in those type of environments, those rooms, none of that. I don't mingle with those type of people. We just gotta start moving better, man.
Yeah, I feel that. And to me, with Shannon trying to in our opinion, prove his sexuality, I feel like the way he went about doing it with these women, like even the sexual nature of his interaction is still given that you're that though. Because all it is revolving around butt play, and you know what I'm saying? It just can look a certain way. So like you said, he was better off just living his life and letting people talk. Because I do feel like it was a huge piece of him that felt like he needed to prove, nah, I be getting pussy. I ain't out here, dealing with no niggas. I'm out here I get the young bitch, I get the young hoe. So I think it was that, and it's still just all the way backfired. Now his bag is in jeopardy.
And I feel bad for Ocho.
You feel bad for Ocho?
For Ocho, man. When you in partnership, you got to think about what you're doing. It just don't impact you. I feel bad for Ocho. I feel bad for his daughter. I believe he got a daughter. I feel bad for his kids. Like, I feel bad for these people, not necessarily him. You know, I feel bad for the people who this affected.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta start. This stuff is bigger than you, man. Like, the brand ain't just you. You know what I'm saying? You work with Ocho. You got people behind the scenes. You got your family. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not about to be moving wicked like that when I know I got family looking up to me. You know what I'm saying? And I know I got a partner that's banking on me being successful. Like, no. And all the flack he has given Ocho about being professional and this what he on. Nah, man. Like, you got to lead by example. And that ain't it.
Yeah.
You would think Ocho, like if this stuff was coming out about Ocho, you'd be like, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do Ocho.
No, I'm saying Ocho is known to be wild. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you wouldn't even be shocked because Ocho was just known to be wild back in the day. You know, Ocho seems to be more on point than
No. Well, how you feel about what John Till said? Because there was a rumor that Shaq paid for this. Now it was an audio that was leaked by what's that dude who be on All the Smoke?
Matt Barnes.
Yeah, Matt Barnes. He had it was an audio leak of him talking about, we're on the curbish, Shaq want some information about Shan because I don't know if they got some kind of prior beef or history.
Yeah, but Steven Jackson and Shan, like All the Smoke, and they had a little problem some months ago. Well, it's a minute ago. Yeah, they wasn't too fond of each other.
Why?
I think it revolved around that Cat Williams situation, if I'm not mistaken. It was either the Cat Williams situation or somebody, I can't remember. But he didn't like how dude had people going on his platform talking bad about other folks or whatever.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
So it was something like that. I can't remember if it was the Cat Williams situation or something else.
Terenzo said, freaky time or not, Black folks need to remove ourselves from the consumer element of prostitution, and Black men and women need to end the double standard and narrative indefinitely. Okay. Thank you, Theo. It says, off topic for your husband, if you could have one new piece of gym equipment for your gym, what would it be?
Well, I mean, I've been looking at this little T-bar row machine, so it'd be that
T-bar row machine
for the back. Stand on it and do rolls. So that's something I've been looking at. So I guess that answers that question.
Thank you,
but
Theo.
To answer the first thing you said about the setup with Shaq, that's what I'm saying. I don't care if it is a setup or not. Your discernment still has to be on point.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Like, it could have been a setup. I mentioned that when I was talking earlier. It could have been a setup. She could be making stuff up. This all could be true. But if you're Shannon, you still should be mindful of who you associate with, because it's easy to spot somebody that's setting you up. You could just tell by the conversation, the interaction. So you should be more aware of all of that. Like, if you coming into a certain bag, there's certain things that you should be studying and be hip to, and being set up is one of them. You should be able to spot that.
Let me go here, because this could be Shannon's thought process while y'all trying to come at him sideways. What if he was under the impression that if I am an older gentleman of status with money, so on and so forth, I would be able to have some level of dominance and control over this young girl to where she will do as I say?
That's stupid. I call her a white YN, and y'all know what the YNs are. You ain't got no control over them young folk. No, that's stupid to think that.
No, what I'm saying, like, that could have been his thought process.
And that's stupid. If that's his thought process, it's stupid. You can have a thought process, and I can call it stupid. So if that was his thought process, that was stupid to think that. You should not think. First of all, you should never think you can have control over another person. Whether it's a 15-year-old, 10-year-old, 5-year-old, you shouldn't think that because you don't. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can try and it may work. You may be able to manipulate them, but you should never go into a situation thinking that. Never. That can backfire. And that's just stupid.
Peace to you, Isaiah, and I hope you feel better. We just getting into the whole Shannon Sharpe thing. Get my husband's take on different things. And he going off per usual.
These dudes need to consult with me before they start mingling with some of these weirdos. Like they did some of the decisions these dudes be making. Hey, it's dumb. Like that might be a lane for me. Like with these celebrities, before they start having sexual relations, they need to consult me. I'll probably get a lot of these dudes. I'll keep a lot of these dudes safe because I tell them no to probably about all of them.
But see, that's why people don't want to deal with you because you boring, my love. You don't want to have no motherfucking fun.
And I'm gonna keep all my money. I'm gonna keep all my wealth. It's gonna stay in the family. Everybody gonna be good. I ain't got to pay $10 million for hush money over here. I ain't got to pay $50 million over there. All that money going to the family because I ain't stupid. Soon as they bring up a picture, man, what you think about her? Nope. I'm saying nope, left and right. Nope. Every time you bring up a picture of these women, whatever you want to call them, it looks like no. Like
my love, now like, they be saying that about me.
Saying what?
That no, they look like an Instagram thought, and you know why she dressed like this, and you know her body is big. Like somebody could look at me and say, "Oh yeah, you got you a OnlyFans bitch."
See, looking and investigating. So I'm going to investigate. I'm going to investigate, and that's how I'm going to reach my conclusion. It's very easy to reach this conclusion. Have you did any of that to me? So obviously I may be on to something here.
Have I did any what?
Have you tried to play me in any way, shape, or form?
Nah, but I'm just saying. No. But you going off of looks though.
No, I'm saying that's going to be the start of it. But I'm always going to investigate. But even the look, you do not have to. I don't care what they say. Obviously, these people are fools. You don't have the look that these same individuals have. First of all, your body is not. I can tell a fake body out the rip. Your body is not fake. The ones that are even saying something close to that, their discernment is terrible because your body is not fake. Most of the people that I be looking at, their body is fake. They be having fake bodies, and I can tell. I can spot a fake body instantly.
But okay, but peep this. The little white girl, young nigga that you talking about that Shannon was dealing with, she ain't had no fake body.
But she's a white YN. You and me are the same age. If Shannon brought to me a 21-year-old white YN, I'm going to instantly be like, no. He didn't bring to me a 57 white older ON. You know what I'm saying?
But he was dealing with an old white
But he didn't. I'm talking about this specific situation. That's a white YN. Soon as Shannon would have been like, "What you? No, don't do that. Do not talk to her. It ain't no way you can flip. No."
Urban says, "Salute, little big sis. This is for the myth. Your husband to your legend. Keep rocking out, y'all, fellas. Don't let your freak be your downfall. LOL. Salute to you, Urban.
And that is exactly what I'm talking about. That is the downfall. When you." Man, we need to go back and listen to Kendrick. That will be the downfall. It'll be the downfall. And this has been proven over time. Even on the white side, Bill Clinton now. Like, it's the downfall. Being extra freaky is costing these dudes too much money.
So we like being freaky now.
Not when it's costing you too much money. And being freaky shouldn't cost you $10 million. It shouldn't. Like, I'm dead serious. That should not be able to be somebody's come up because you freaky. Like, that's ridiculous, man. I'm not about to be retiring a 21-year-old because I'm freaky and can't tame that. No. That when we do that, we giving these women ammunition to be that way. So now you are like, that is what you're doing. So now you keep breeding that type of situation. When you saying, okay, boom, I'm freaky and I'm about to go find me a white YN and now she about to get 25, 30 million, whatever she get. Guess what other people looking at? The other white YNs like, that's all I need to do? Go find me an old freaky dude and I might come up, give me 10 million, 15 million. You're going to breed more of that. So we need to stop feeding that. And part of stop feeding that is the stop or ceasing the freakiness.
My love, we all freaks, man.
No.
Let's stop, my love.
No, that's dead. That's dead when it's costing you all that.
You could really flip it on anything though. Like what if I was that type of chick, my love, and I'm your whole wife, and then let's say you come up on $1 billion and I want to leave you, and I'd be like, oh, but he be choking me with his penis, and he did this and he did that. I could play that card. To that logic, you should not trust no woman.
When you start getting your bread, first of all, if you ain't bringing paperwork into the situation, when you start getting the bread, that's how you got to move, or at least that's how you should move. That's going to eliminate a lot of allegations. Most of these allegations are very sexual, so that will eliminate a lot of allegations. It will. Like, it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? If you tired of breaking off all this bread, which I would be tired of doing, then I'm gonna turn into a doggone nun out here. Like, I'm not about to be moved. I'm not about to do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not about to keep cutting all these checks. I'm not gonna keep doing that.
No, for real, Isaiah. Like, a woman can do that. Anybody can do that. If we wanted to play that card, then y'all should be fucking no
And
woman.
This is why a lot of dudes don't. You're proving all the dudes that be complaining. Point. That's the point. That's why they don't trust a lot of women, especially when they get into a certain tax bracket. That's why they don't trust them. That's why we don't want to affiliate, be around certain women when we are of a certain status, because all it takes for them is for them to lie on us, and now our career is in jeopardy. It's a bold-faced lie. All they got to do is say, oh, he looked at me wrong, and now I might lose my whole job. That's why we don't trust women to begin with. So that's why we got to move in a certain type of light, especially when you get in a certain tax bracket, because it ain't nothing for y'all to lie, and we lose our whole job, and our whole status is messed up off a lie. So it doesn't take much. That's why I said if I came across a lot of bread, I would be moving. I wouldn't be around none of it, because it doesn't take anything. All somebody got to do is lie and be like, that was dude looked at me from around the corner. Now I'm about to lose everything, all endorsements, everything. It doesn't take much. So that's why a lot of brothers don't trust women. Like, that you proving that point. That's why they don't trust them.
Terenzo said, Eric's nope is militarized way of discipline and zero tolerance philosophy that we all need to adapt to having, what did I say? Psychologically. Thank you. I salute that approach. And I do too. Okay. Like you should be like, nope. And have that discipline that you need to keep yourself out of trouble. But what about the instance where your past is following you? Let's say you was reckless in your heyday, and now you got money, and now them old bitches coming through.
Your past is that right there. I don't have no problem, because it happened. That's the past. I can explain that. But when I get the money moving forward, that is what I'm going to focus on. The past, that I can't go back and change it and say this didn't happen. All I got, if anything, I'm gonna get ahead of that and start talking about that before these people even come out and say anything. That's how I would personally do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to allow people to come out and shame my name. If I know I did some things, weird stuff in the past, as soon as I get up on some bread, I'm gonna expose that before I get exposed. That's
okay. But then that's Shannon's approach. So now you want to talk on yourself. So when I do come forward, he already said something about this shit though. So he already knows it. So pay up. So that's a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation as far as exposing.
Nah, yeah, I'm going.
You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't. Shannon didn't go about that fully the right way, in my opinion. I don't think Shannon.
But I'm saying somebody could say that's not a good approach either. Like you've been like, yeah, when I was young back in the day, I was choking bitches and making them pass out, and I was doing all that crazy shit back in the day. And you feel like because you're exposing that and you've evolved and elevated from that won't come back to bite you.
No, I'm not. No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's not going to come back and bite me. It's all about controlling the narrative, which that's all the media is. So if I allow somebody else to come out and say it first, they control the narrative. I'm going to paint the picture first.
Okay.
So it looks like I don't have anything to hide, which I don't. I'm not about to let somebody else tell my story first. I'm going to come out and I'm going to lay everything out on the table. But then also, that's the way that I move. If I come across $1 billion, my past is not reckless like that. So that's why I say if anything were to come out and assassinate my character, it will be fabricated, because I wasn't out here moving. While I've always moved with that discernment. Always. You know what I'm saying? Always. So I don't even have to go back and do that. So that's the type of stuff that we need to teach the youth. Like, man, move with discernment and do it early.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to go clean up all of that. But again, I'm going to control the narrative about my life. So if I come across that and I have some things from my past, I'm not about to wait and say, well, let me see if they expose it or not. No, I'll tell y'all what's up. I'm not hiding anything. I'm going to tell y'all what's up, and I'm going to tell y'all the truth about it. That's it. Whatever happens after that is going to happen. But I'm going to control the narrative. I'm going to spill the beans first. I'm not going to allow somebody to spill the beans on me. Because, again, they control the narrative. They're going to make that thing sound way worse than it probably was. So I'm going to come out and tell you the truth first and foremost. You heard it from me first. And, again, like I said, whatever happens from that is going to happen. It's inevitable. But I'm going to control the narrative. That's all I'm focused on.
So let me ask you this. Is it over for Shannon Sharpe?
I'm not going to necessarily, it's not over in the sense of him being able to do things for himself. I don't think he's going to lose, the support that he,
like his core.
I don't think he's going to lose that. But like as far as ESPN and all that, yes, sir, I believe that's over with.
You think that's over?
Yep.
Dang.
I believe that's over with. He going to have to focus on his own endeavors, which to me, that's what you need to be doing anyway. Honestly, that's what I push for anyway. But I feel like as far as him going back to ESPN, like I think that's over. I'll be very surprised if I see him back there in August when the preseason and all that starts. I'll be very surprised, depending on how everything unfolds. But I feel like that's pretty much over with for him. In my honest opinion, I could be wrong, but I feel like that part of it is a wrap.
Thank you, William. I do too. I feel like that's a wrap for Shan too, especially when they had broke down the contract and the guidelines of what you can't go outside of. I was like, yeah, he went all outside of that shit. And then if they were to keep Shan, that would make them look bad because they, to my knowledge, they fired other people for less.
Yeah, they didn't fire people for less, and it's just not. Some people just they don't want that. They don't want the attract. They don't want to attract what that might attract. As far as like the people that's coming at Shannon, like it might. They just don't want all that attention on them, probably. So I don't. I feel like that part of his career is over with. Unfortunately, somebody like Stephen A. Smith, which is another thing, man, the people that they fought for you to get on the platform, like you messing up their reputation. Like that's just, I think about that type of stuff and I take that stuff to heart. Somebody you went to bat for me to get on the platform. Like I'm about to move in a certain type of way because I'm not only representing myself, but like I'm representing their reputation. So I'm not about to be moving weird when that type of stuff is on
what else crossed my mind with stuff like this? Like, I also be feeling like when you are in a certain tax bracket or when you are a part of certain circles, you're exposed to certain things that maybe the people that you are brushing elbows with are doing. And so you get accustomed to seeing that. So that's normal to you. So then you get in this mindset of, well, I can do that shit too. Because, okay, so for example, like if we're hanging around people who they do this, like they fuck with young niggas or they fuck with young bitches and they get rough and rowdy and reckless and they pay for this type of freaky ass nigga sex. Like they do this all the time and nothing happens. So then you start to indulge or you start to do certain things and maybe for years nothing is happening.
Nope. So we all know that the people who are probably going to fire him participate in this activity.
Right.
But Shannon Sharpe give you a bunch of quotes from his grandmother. You know where Shannon Sharpe is from. You know that don't apply to a black man. You know that. Shannon Sharpe knows that. So we know that. No. Shannon Sharpe wasn't born into this. He wasn't a child star. Like, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't his reality. Shannon Sharpe wasn't brainwashed out the womb. Shannon Sharpe came from humble beginnings. So he know good and well that type of activity don't apply to the black man. He know it. He knows.
But I'm saying it might be black men that he's associated with.
Stephen A. Smith is one that he's associated with that he probably seen do some things. I don't know, but he know good and well. Even those black men know. They didn't make examples out of people that's bigger than Shannon. That's black men. Like they didn't make examples out of these folks. We know that don't apply to black men. No, Shannon Sharpe is a 57-year-old black man. He knows that don't apply to them. He knows.
But I'm saying, if I start to feel like
You don't understand what I'm saying. You
I
should
do.
never start to feel like that at 57 as a black man, at 47 as a black man, at 37. You should never adopt that mindset ever as a black man, ever. In the wilderness, North America, a black man should never be like, oh, they out here messing with these young white YNs, so therefore it's normalized to me and I can go do it and get away with it. Never. You should never think like that. Never. The world has never been set up in a way to where that's going to work for us in the long term without it eventually coming to light. Never. So you should never, as a black man, I don't care who you associate with. I don't care if you hanging with Jay-Z and them every day. I don't care. You should never think that, ever. I don't care how much money you have. You should never, especially somebody that didn't come from money. Shannon didn't come from money. So you should never think that. So I don't want to hear what you're talking about, because you should never think that as a black man. You should never think that. Your mindset should never be that. You should never think you can mess with white women and get away with that.
I feel you, my love, but I'm just saying, like, he probably thought he was at a particular level to where y'all need me. Like, I'm the face.
Understanding what I'm saying.
I'm the face of y'all shit.
Words like thought. No, you should never think that. There is no face. They will replace you quickly. They don't care about none of that. Even if it's appearing,
but maybe that's what he thought is what I'm thinking.
You not understand. You keep using words like thought.
I get what
you're saying. That could be you're stupid, Shannon, if you thought that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if he thought that. That is dumb thinking. And he knows better. And I know Shannon knows better because I know his upbringing. So whether he thought that or not, that's dumb thinking. Because I know he knows what I'm talking about too. I know he knows history. I know he knows what happens to black men that try to do things like that with white women. I know he knows that. He ain't dumb. Shannon ain't dumb now. I know he know what I'm talking about.
So Shannon ain't dumb, but he doing dumb shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? He know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. Thank you, Irvin. It says dick discipline can save your life. Your bracket or status doesn't protect you. Remember, there are too many disease-laden so-called communities we talk about ad nauseum due to the lack thereof. Facts.
Discipline. That's all I'm talking about. Discipline.
Let me see. TFL says, for the Bell Baby Fund, please accept this contribution for the disrespect towards Danica Marie and Mr. Eric Bell and Danica's channel of followers. What happened? You must have said something disrespectful. I appreciate you though. Thank you, Joseph. It says, you can never get in front of this stuff by running your mouth. Never admit anything in detail, as everything will be held against you. But see, I can agree with that too, because that's the same thing they tell you, like when you're in a car accident, like, don't say shit. I don't care if it's your fault. You be quiet. You let the lawyers handle it. I mean, in my opinion, I do feel like Shannon maybe have thought that he was jumping out in front of it and going the Jay-Z approaching route, and he could have got over it. But I think he should have just shut up and let his lawyers.
People not understand. It's a level of authenticity that's attacked. Everything Shannon and put out, it sounds like it's pre-recorded. It sounds like somebody told him to say it.
Yeah.
It sounds like he didn't write it.
Yeah.
Like, nah, like y'all not understanding with that. If it sounds scripted, that's gonna probably backfire. But I'm controlling the narrative, man. Like, I'm all about controlling the narrative. But again, I don't have no history that I would have to go back and do that about and for. But when somebody else comes out and paints this picture, now I got to try to clean that up.
Yeah.
So I'm not, like, at the end of the day, if we saying it's a lose-lose, I'd rather control the narrative and take the L. Because either way, if it's going to come out, it's going to come out. You know? So I would rather control the narrative. The only way that would be in question is if I'm about to get up here and lie, which I'm not going to do. Authenticity. I'm being original. I'm going to tell the truth. That gets you far in life. The problem is people are not authentic. Everything sounds scripted. Everything is scripted. Even Shannon's whole response is scripted.
Yeah.
We got to start being original and authentic. People appreciate and respect that. If Shannon would have just came out and been real about it instead of sounding like he was reading the script like Diddy, you know what I'm saying? He might have got a little bit more props or respect or whatever the case may be. But man, it just sounded like his whole approach was scripted, and it just sounded trash to me. Everything he put out just sounded trash. The way he did and went about it. Especially him reading that sounded horrible. I was like, man, you could have kept that. Sounded like he was just reading the screen. It looked like he was reading the screen. Looked like it was just terrible. That was terrible. Instead of him being on the couch with his doing the interviews, Club Shade, like he should have more so did that. He should have had that type of time or that type of vibe when he was explaining the situation. It literally sounded like he was just reading a teleprompter.
Oh, so you feel like maybe he should have addressed it on Nightcap or some shit like that.
The same way that the same reason why we gravitated towards him in the first place, that's how he should have addressed it.
Yeah, that would have been done.
Instead of sounding like he reading like the tell reading.
Hey, but I think he panicked because he knew his bread was on the line.
That's what I'm talking about. See, you panicking and you making decisions that's weird. That got you looking like, man, what are you doing? Just keep it real.
Irvin said, I think Shannon fell in love with Snow Bunny Wild. Keep it simple. So y'all think he was in love? It ain't given he was in love. I think he was just on some freaky ass nigga shit and got caught up. Because if he was in love with her, he wouldn't have been fucking around with Michelle. Because that's how all this kicked off. From what they said, it was like she was cool with everything. She thought she was gonna have his big black baby and marry him and all of that. And then when the whole thing with Michelle leaked, that's when all the gloves came off. So it ain't giving Shannon was in love at all. You know, it ain't giving it to me. To me, it ain't giving it. Okay. So what last take on Shannon, what do you feel like he should do moving forward?
It's at the end of the day, when stuff like this happen and it unfolds the way it unfolded, man, all he can do is just focus on himself now, man, moving forward, just bettering himself, making better decisions from here on out. That's pretty much it. And letting this unfold and play out however it's going to unfold and play out. That's it. Like, I wouldn't, at this point, this stage in the game, I wouldn't even shed any more light on this particular situation. I would just let it play out how it's going to play out in court. And I would just focus on my business endeavors and just bettering myself as an individual. That's it. And just putting as much positive energy in the atmosphere as I can and associating with as many positive people as I can. That's all I do at this point. Because at this point, the damage is done for himself. Yeah. Like, man, I'm not even about to continue to talk about it, man.
Yeah.
I'm just going to focus on myself, man, and just try to move forward and move past it. That's it. That's all I would be doing right now.
So don't even try to go back to ESPN. Don't talk about it.
I leave all that alone. It's Nightcap Club, Shay. I just continue to focus on my brand, and that's it. Focus on my brand, focus on myself. That's it. That's all I could do.
I say, yeah, let's not. Please. Do you cut the bunnies off for forever? My love don't deal with.
I don't deal with them. Never have, never will. You know what I'm saying?
Don't ask my husband that. If you are a snow bunny lover or anything of that sort, don't ask my husband. He gonna hurt your feelings. Okay? He don't do the snow bunnies at all. Okay? He just don't. You don't trust him, and that is what it is. But if you like the snow bunnies, go play in the snow. Okay? But don't ask my husband that if you sensitive. Please. Okay? Now, moving forward, when it comes to Shedeur Sanders and his son, I saw a lot of people on social media talking about how they played him and this, that, and the third. Like, what's your take on that?
No, he got played. That's for sure. Like, that's not even like people be talking about conspiracy theories and opinions and this and that. Like, that's a fact that that young man got played. That's an actual fact, 100%. He should have got drafted way earlier and higher than he did. That's just a fact. Now, the reason why he slid, that's where the opinions vary. But him sliding that late, that should not have happened.
So break it down for me, because I'm a woman. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So he was projected to
go in the first round. At one point, he was projected to be the first pick. You know what I'm saying? Him and the dude, Cam Ward, that actually went number one. They play the same position. For a long time, it was like which one of them are going to go. It's going to go first to the Tennessee Titans. So that was a debate for a long time. Him actually being the first pick over a dude that went number one. You know, and then the consensus was it's going to be this Cam Ward dude who actually got drafted first. But he still was in like the top 5, top 10, and then it got a little later on in like the top 20, top 21. So it wasn't no later than that. Then all of a sudden he goes in round 5. So the latest the latest they had him going was like late first round. That's what I saw in like mock drafts. and he ended up going in round 5. That's sick. So the latest I was seeing him drop was like to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had like the 20 or 21st pick. That was the latest I saw him going. Like no later than that.
So when they do these picks, they already have the team that you're going to be drafted to?
No, I'm talking about mock drafts. Mock drafts are experts who fill out, not fill out, but they write out how they think the draft is going to go. Okay. And these are experts. That's what a mock draft is called. You know, so they do all this studying and they give you a projection of how they feel like the draft is going to go. So when you're a fan of football, you look at a lot of mock drafts. You might even create your own, you know, based off your research, you know, and it's really not hard to do. You may get a lot of the picks wrong, but essentially you may get the rounds right that these people go in, you know, but you sitting around based on your research and all the stats and all that, you creating a mock draft of where you think everybody is going to end up going. They don't never get it 100% right, but like I said, for the most part, you're gonna get the rounds right, and you might get a few wrong, but that's what a mock draft is. But you don't actually know where you're going for the most part until the day of the draft, or the days of the draft, because it's a 3-day thing.
So why do you feel like they played in this space?
I feel it's a multitude of different reasons. First of all, they was calling him arrogant and things like that. You know, his attitude. They used that against him, and I feel like it was his father. I feel like Deion. One of the things I heard was that he always played under his father. So his father constructed a team
around him
to where it makes his son look better than he is. So they don't know how he would play when he don't have his father at the helm, you know, as the coach.
That makes sense.
So they was trying to use that against him, man. But the young bull can ball, man. Just because your father's coach on me. I watched him, you know, young bull is good. Young bull is good. And then also I feel like it was just outside of that with his pops, they just trying to make an example.
Really?
Trying to make an example.
What's the example?
That man put his sons in a better position to make it to the league, and they didn't want that like they didn't want the world to see that. So he went to Jackson State, had his sons with him. He said, all right, boom, I served my time here at Jackson State, went to Colorado. Folks ain't really like that. You know, black folks didn't like him going from the HBCU to Colorado, but I knew what he was doing. Now, did I agree with that or did I like that? Not necessarily. I feel like he could have made it work at the HBCU, but I understood. It's like, all right, if I get to this Power 12 program, this Colorado, my kids will have a better chance at making it to the league. So I know why he did that. I understand it. It's politics at the end of the day. He's trying to play the game. So I got that part, you know. So he did that, and they turned that program won like one game. He turns that program around. His son had a lot to do with that. So he put his son in a position to win. His son would not have been projected to go that high in the draft if they stayed at Jackson State. And that's just a fact. That's how they do HBCU. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So he knew that. So he put his son in that position by going to Colorado, turning that program around. And his son should have won that first round. But if that would have happened, then we would have saw that. The world would have saw it. Okay, this black man, this is the blueprint to be able to put other your kids or other black people in a position to go from, all right, we went to this HBCU, which we got other black men following that. Michael Vick doing that. Deshaun Jackson. It's a few other dudes that's following in those footsteps. So I don't feel like they wanted that to happen, man. That would have gave Deion way too much power in their eyes. They had to humble the family, as they said. So I feel like it was part of that. Because the young man should have went in the first round. That's it. He should have went no later than the second or third, but he should have went in that first round to me, you know, like to a lot of people.
Now, I saw some people in the comments saying that they heard he was lazy and all of that. You don't think they had no bearings on him?
And that's what I'm saying. We done heard that about plenty of other white quarterbacks and white individuals that they went in the first round in years. Like lazy, nah, man. I ain't no. That has been said about a lot of other prospects that still got drafted in the first round. They stock didn't drop that low. Laziness, like it didn't have somebody that was projected to go in the first, went to and they end up going in the fifth just because they were lazy. Like I ain't never seen that type of drop. What I saw from this draft, I never seen that before.
Really?
I've never seen anything like that. The only time something like that I've seen something like that is if they had like a case against them, like they domestic violence case or something, like they did some, got in trouble with the law, and they was projected to go like in the first round, then they got in some trouble with the law, and then they stock dropped. You know, I've seen something like that, and they stock dropped that low. Like I've seen people go out of the first round to the second round. It's a dude from Missouri, that went to graduated from East St. Louis. He was supposed to go in the first round, but they started saying something about he's a diva, but he still went in the second round. He still went in the second round.
So and yeah, they definitely was playing in.
Luther Burden was supposed to be a first. He's supposed to be the first wide receiver off the board because the boy cold. And they started saying he's a diva, this and that. Which the position he plays, all of them act like divas. You know what I'm saying? But he still went at the top of the second round. And they were talking about his attitude and his work ethic. Like that was some of the things against him. He still went in that second round. So now this was a prime example of them making an example out of the young brother due to his cocky, arrogant attitude. The moment I knew that, it was two things. One of them you could debate. When the New York Giants, that was a team that people thought he was going to go to. They didn't draft him with their first pick. Then they traded back into the first round. Everybody was like, okay, he might go here. And they drafted another guy, a white quarterback, instead of drafting Shedeur. That's when I was like, oh, yeah, this ain't about to go well. Because I thought when they traded back in, I was like, man, they might. All right, here you go. They about to get him, the Giants, because this was talk. And when they drafted the white quarterback, I said, oh, yeah, this is not promising. And then the New Orleans Saints, they drafted a quarterback that is garbage. And they had no business being drafted ahead of Shedeur. That's how I know. That's when I knew. It was that moment when I was like, yeah, they make an example out of.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like if he wasn't arrogant and cocky and all of that, do you feel like that would have changed the decision making? Or would his father still have played a role?
Well, first of all, so if his attitude was a little bit better, so to speak, he probably would have went.
I mean, but what was he doing though?
No, he don't be doing nothing. You didn't see him. They be doing all the while. They just don't like the man being cocky. Basically saying, look, everywhere I went, I didn't change I didn't turn the program around. I didn't turn him into a winning franchise or a winning program. If I get drafted, wherever I go, I'm gonna do the same thing because that's what I'm used to doing. You know the family that I come from, my father's prime. Like he got that. That's Deion. Deion was like that. Deion talked that talk. He was able to back it up. So he talked just like Deion. So he's talking that talk. And he so far he's been backing it up. Everywhere he went, he turned it around. So he just was talking like that. Now, when white people do it, they say they're confident because there are a few white quarterbacks that play the same position he played that had the same attitude. I can name two. You don't know them, but Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, they got the same type of attitude as Shedeur, but they are called great leaders and they're confident. Those are the words that they use to describe these same dudes that got that same energy that Shedeur has. So that's some garbage, man. It's some white quarterbacks that had the same type of energy and attitude that young bull has had. And they call them great leaders and they say they're confident. And this is a fact.
Toledo, how you say that?
University of Toledo. Yeah.
Had a quarterback who went 35-0, never got drafted to the NFL, named Chuck Ely.
Yeah, I'm already knowing.
Why they do that?
It's politics, man. Like it's just it's a lot of politics.
How you say this? Dacia? It says, as a journalist, this is a well-coordinated smear campaign. They said Shedeur was unprepared for interviews. Since when has Shedeur been unprepared for an interview? Even pop-up interview ready.
Yeah, that's one of the things. And that's how they tried to get him with the Giants. They tried to say he got into it with the coach for the Giants during the interview. Like he was unprepared and the coach called him out. And then they said Shedeur and him went back and forth. Like they just trying to assassinate the young bull's character, man. Like that's crazy. They trying to say he was unprepared for these interviews or he had bad interviews. Like that's what I heard.
What does that have to do with the talent, though?
Has nothing to do with the talent, but that's again, it's the politics. They want you to behave a certain type of way. The NFL is a corporation at the end of the day, so they want you to behave a certain type of way, and that's part of the interview process. You know, and that's why people would, and it's funny because people was trying to write the racist aspect out of it by saying, oh, well, black quarterback went first. Like that takes away from this still being some form of racism. Like, no.
So you feel like this is a form of racism?
Yeah, of course. Just because that's like somebody saying I ain't racist, I got black friends, man. Just because they allow black dudes to be drafted don't take away from the racist aspects of it, man. You had house Negroes, you had field Negroes.
So you feel like he would fall under the field Negro?
He a field Negro. He don't need their money. He comes from money. That's prime, son. He don't really need their money like that. You know, he built the brand before he even got to the league. They making money in college now. He don't really, that little contract he about to sign, he made more in college. The contract he about to sign because he went in the 5th round, his NIL money in college was more than that contract. And he gonna probably make more money just off of his name and the brand for himself, especially off of the support he about to get now. He gonna make more money from that than this NFL contract he about to get, and that's a fact. So he don't really need the NFL like that. We got a new generation of young bulls. Like, we no longer in the situation where these dudes coming out of poverty. These young bulls coming out of some money. Back in the day, like Shannon Sharpe and them, they was coming out of poverty. They needed to get their mom and them out the hood. Now these kids' mom and them ain't in the hood. They don't need that money like that. You know what I'm saying? So this is part of that. They teaching them a lesson. But if you come in there and you say the right thing in these interviews, yeah, they're gonna allow you to eat a little bit. But Shedeur not doing that.
He gonna prove him wrong.
And I always rock with somebody like that, man, because the young bull is being himself. And I fool with that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make a good interview. And you know I can relate to that because I then went on plenty of job interviews in corporate America. And I'm just being myself. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not necessarily going to say what these corporations want me to hear. And that's going to cause doors to be closed in my face. So I resonate with Shedeur when they start talking about him being unprepared for interviews. It ain't that we unprepared. It's that I'm not saying what you want me to say. That's all it is. So I doubt that the young man was unprepared. Like, when you watch that family, that's a well-spoken family. His father was in the league. His father knew how that process went. So how could a young boy like that be unprepared when your father has already played plenty of years in the league and know how he got drafted? So he know how this go. Nah, man, you ain't finna sit here and have me believe that young man was unprepared for interviews when his father is one of the best players of all time. Come on.
That's bull junk.
Yeah, man. Like, come on.
That's bull junk.
Like, that's the GOAT of
that's
his
some bull
position,
junk, man.
And you about to tell me his son was unprepared? Get out of here.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So when I guess the lower you fall in the draft, the less money you get.
The less money you get. And that's another thing. But again, he don't need that money, but some of them other players might, but he don't need that. But yeah. You go to the 5th round, your contract.
Let's say who said that? Let's say it's like, was that Isaiah? I don't remember who that was. Yeah, Isaiah said he gonna prove them wrong. Let's say that he proved them wrong. Is he gonna be able to like renegotiate
after his contract is up for the most part?
But how long is the contract?
It depends on what he signed. It could be a 4-year, maybe like a 4-year contract. I'll say that's probably like the minimum contract they assigned. Maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe. I forget what the rookie contract is for like 5th round. So
Dan, that's fucked up then. That's fucked up.
You can probably sign like an extension. There are ways around it if you start doing way better than expected.
That's not cool.
For the most part, they end up playing their little contract out and then they get them another contract.
So you mean to tell me that he has to settle with this contract for 4 years on some bullshit, paying me what I'm not worth? I'm worth way more than this. I gotta just accept this for 4 years.
The problem is this is a performance-based league. So if they don't allow the young brother to play, he can't really say that he's worth more than that because he's not going to be able to prove it. And I feel like that's another thing that they're going to end up doing. Like
not playing,
right? Because the team that drafted him, it's a weird situation to be in. First of all, that franchise that drafted him, quarterbacks go there and die, like their careers die. Like the quarterbacks don't do good in Cleveland, and that's the position that he plays. They done drafted plenty of quarterbacks for the Cleveland Browns franchise, and all of them have done terrible and go on to other teams and they do well. That's just a bad team to go to when you play quarterback. Secondly, they drafted a quarterback, which is his position, some rounds before that. So that was weird. So they already drafted a quarterback and then turned back around and draft Shedeur. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. We don't normally do that. Teams don't do that. You don't draft 2 quarterbacks within like a 2 or 3 round radius. Like, you don't do that. That's unheard of. So they draft 2 quarterbacks And then they signed like a 40-year-old Joe Flacco, and then they got like 4 quarterbacks in the room. So I feel like they're gonna make this. I feel like they're gonna stash this man on the bench.
Oh man.
So then if you do that, you're not able to say I'm worth $100 million because you're not playing. But if I go out here and play it, then I prove people wrong. Now I could be like, nah, y'all got to pay me. So I feel like they're gonna make this man struggle to get playing time, which he shouldn't. He should walk right into Cleveland and start. I guarantee you they're gonna make that more challenging than it needs to be. I guarantee you that happens.
If you get drafted lower, does that mean that you don't play, like you don't start?
Right, for the most part, you not if you get drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, you can start, but you gotta work way harder to. You're not getting drafted to start. You know, if you get drafted in the 5th,
so you're gonna
6th,
be
7th
on the
round,
bench?
For the most, if somebody drafted that late, they not drafting you that late to start.
Oh damn.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, that's fucked up.
You can work if you work hard enough and you outshine people that's in front of you. Yes, you have the ability to start. But some people don't even make the team.
But you're not gonna even let me play.
No. So they have all these training camps and things like that for you to prove your value. Shedeur, I feel like they just gonna hate on. These other folks, like, you can prove your value if you drafted late. You're gonna have all these training camps and you're gonna have these moments and these times to be able to prove your value, prove your worth. You know what I'm saying? But for Shedeur, I don't feel like they gonna. I feel like it almost don't matter what he do, they gonna hate on him, and they gonna put somebody else in that starting role over him. But you can prove your value and worth. But normally and naturally, when you draft it late in the later rounds, you're not starting. But there are a few exceptions to the rule. Like Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round, so he's you know what I'm saying, one of the best to do it. But he was never projected to go high out of college. He was projected to go exactly where he went. Shedeur was projected to go in the 1st round. So when people were trying to console the young brother and say, well, Russell Wilson was drafted in the 3rd round, Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th, they were projected to go where they went. That's different. Yeah. If my whole dream was to go in the 1st round of the draft, and that's another reason why I ain't like all that, man, because this is his dream, man. This is a young black man with a dream, and he that close to reaching it. And you seeing this league hate on him and hate on his dream, like, I didn't like seeing that. You know what I'm saying? That was that man's dream to go in the 1st round of the draft, and that dream should have been fulfilled. So we had to watch another young black man get slapped in the face as far as his dream. And he was projected to be in that top 20, top 30, at least in that 1st round. And it didn't happen for political reasons. And I don't like that, man. That was messed up.
Dacia says, and no one can point out who this anonymous NFL assistant coach was that said he was horrible in interviews. It's because no one said that bullshit.
Nobody said it. It's made up. Because how am I going to, I find that hard to believe. And even if I'm trash in the interview, like, some people just don't interview well, and that's okay.
Yeah, like what's his name? Your boy Malone. What's your boy name, Malone?
Who?
That play football, the one with the dread, the locks.
Man, who are you talking about? That's not helping me. There's a lot of them with locks.
The one who don't be interviewing.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like Marshawn Lynch.
Dude interviews well, but he just was being petty at that point.
But I'm saying, like, he be doing that. So what's the deal?
Ain't necessarily like a bad interview. Like, he can talk, man. Some people just, you got social anxiety. Like, it's a lot of different reasons as to why Muzz might not be comfortable doing interviews. That don't take away from my performance.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
that's what I'm saying.
He could just be bad at that. And that's just that. But I find that hard to believe, man, because I've listened to dude talk and things like that, man. So I just find that hard to believe. But that's what they trying to paint.
But didn't he have a brother though? So brother
Shiloh,
he wasn't that good.
He was decent, but he was never projected to. He was projected to either go like in the last 2 rounds or undrafted, which he went undrafted, and he ended up signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he signed a deal as an undrafted rookie, like an undrafted free agent. So he's on the team. He got signed right after the draft.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
But he's gonna have to work hard to make the team. So him just being signed as an undrafted free agent doesn't mean he makes the team. So he can still get cut, but he has the opportunity to make that team. But Shiloh wasn't never projected to go that high. Like he wasn't projected to go high at all. If you get drafted anyway, you know what I'm saying? But he's on the team though. So I like to see that. I like to see both of them young brothers on a squad. I'm rooting for them. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's a few other dudes from that Colorado team that ended up getting drafted. Outside of the Travis Hunter kid, you know, he went number 2. He was the second pick, the Travis Hunter kid from Colorado. But it was other dudes on that team where I was watching. I'm like, man, why they ain't picked them up? And they started getting drafted shortly after Shedeur went.
Now, to further try to break Shedeur's spirit, several articles are saying Tom Brady, Shedeur's mentor, was behind the sabotage on Google now.
Right, and that was another part of the conspiracy, so to speak. You know, because he had been mentored by Tom Brady and all that. So Tom Brady got ownership in the Raiders. So everybody was like, well, dag, if the Raiders not drafted dude, because that was a projection, him getting drafted by the Raiders because of the Tom Brady connection. And they passing over him. So they was painting that picture. Like, oh, if his own mentor don't want to take him, that means a lot. So they was just making this dude look like he the worst individual on the planet. And every angle they can use, they use.
But I'm saying, why would Tom Brady do that?
They just signed a quarterback. They signed a quarterback named Geno Smith. So they already paid that man a lot of money. So the Raiders signed a quarterback who is a black guy, by the way. Geno Smith's a black guy who just signed with the Raiders, and they paying that man handsomely. So when that happened, I was like, yeah, they probably not going to take Shedeur because it wouldn't. I mean, you could have him sit behind this dude for a few years or two. But once they signed Geno Smith for that money, they signed him to a lucrative contract, a contract that actually surprised me. So once that happened, I said, oh, yeah, the Raiders not going to take him. So that part, I wasn't mad at that. I was like, Tom Brady done made their decision at quarterback. They not going to take Shedeur. So I wasn't surprised by that because they already made an investment at quarterback and they spent a lot of money. So I knew that they weren't going in that direction. But as far as Tom Brady being behind the sabotage, if that is indeed true, I wouldn't put that past Tom Brady. I mean, it ain't like Tom Brady one of us. So you know how they play ball. So I wouldn't put that past Tom Brady.
Man, that's fucked up.
You know, I would, because Tom Brady, and to that point, Tom Brady, the coach of the Raiders before the guy they got now was a black man. Tom Brady was behind getting him out of there. And it was unfair because they gave that man 1 year to coach a trash team and he didn't do good and they fired that man. So that wouldn't surprise me, man. Tom Brady got that man up out of there after 1 year of not being able to turn that team around and they was garbage. You ain't give them anything to work with. So, yeah, Tom Brady trashed for that, for getting that black coach fired, man. Antonio Pierce, that was garbage on Tom Brady's behalf. And he was behind that. You know, so I don't rock with, I've never really cared for Tom Brady to begin with. Yeah, I ain't never been no Tom Brady fan, but yeah, he got that black coach fired.
Damn. Thank you, Camel Exports, for your $3.33. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Will. It says, I'm still upset my Steelers didn't take Shedeur, seeing they're trying to sign Aaron Rodgers' old ass.
Now that was the surprise for me because Steelers got the black coach Mike Tomlin who looked like Omar Epps. But
I like that coach.
That was the surprise. That's when I was saying in the first round they didn't have him going later than that team. That's what I'm talking about. I knew for sure. I was like, oh yeah, the Steelers gonna take. Once the Saints didn't take me in the first round, I said, yeah, the Steelers got it. That was the shocker for me. And then the second was like I don't think the Steelers had a second round pick. I can't remember. But then when it came back around to him and Shedeur was on the board, I said, okay, they definitely taking him now. And when they didn't take him again, I said, hold on. So I said, this is some powerful information because I know that black man would have drafted Shedeur. I know it. So they didn't got some orders from above saying, y'all.
Yeah, that's what it's giving.
Because there ain't no way. Like
that's what it's giving.
Nah, man, because first of all, Aaron Rodgers ain't even signed yet, so they don't even have him on the contract yet, and they have no quarterback.
But my lord, that's my thing. This is why I'm just a strong advocate for not even wanting to play their games. Like when it comes to like dealing with the elites and Hollywood and all of that the corporations. That's why I don't want to do that, because at any given time they can completely stifle you. And other people, they want to be a part of the in crowd too. So they gonna follow their instructions and their orders. Even if they know this wrong, nigga, I sign your check though. So you bet not. I don't like shit like that. And for the life of me, I don't understand why we strive so hard to be a part of something to where we are
because
controlled.
they've made it financially beneficial.
But is it? Because at any given time they can strip it.
So, but then that's what I'm saying. So you got to tell these young bulls with aspirations, especially back in the day, when I'm saying they trying to get their peoples out the ghetto. First of all, you talking about people that came from nothing at the beginning. And when you say I can sign a $50 million contract, $100 million contract, man, that's attractive.
Yeah.
Versus if we start our own league, you're not gonna get nothing of like that league got to build up to where you able to pay these people that type of money. And football is a gruesome sport. So you can't just have me out here playing football and I'm signing $250,000 contracts.
Yeah.
Man, that's medical bills don't eat that. So when it comes to a sport like football, that's a little bit more complicated because I need $100 million. So I'm gonna have to spend half of that on my body.
Okay.
You know, so to start something from the ground roots, like football is a little more complicated if you're not promising these dudes 50, 60, 70 million dollar contracts out the gate. And that's not that wouldn't be the case if we started our own football.
Like, why can't we get like Shedeur Sanders and the likes thereof to do something?
That's what I'm saying. Now you tapping into the older demographic to where that's really just not their mindset. Like their mindset, they played in the league. You know, that was the pinnacle of success to play in the NFL. So that's who's breeding the younger generation. They not thinking start our own league. They thinking the NFL is enough to feed our families and things like that. Play the game. Like that's that generation, and they breeding the younger generation. So they not thinking, they not in the mindset.
They don't have a business.
Let's pool our money together and start our own league. No. Further, it'll take a lot of money to pay.
Because you see how they blatantly playing in your face.
You would have to have everybody on board for that to work. And that's the problem. You would have to have everybody.
Because I would have a problem. If I was Shedeur Sanders, I would have a motherfucking problem with all of this. Because you know he invested all of his time, all of his resources, all his money. You know what I'm saying? Into building his babies up to where they would be in that position. And to know that you did everything right and it still was like, no cigar? No, I'm done.
But then on the flip side of what you're saying, the reason why Dion is even financially in the position halfway that he in is because the NFL. He made all this money.
Okay, thank you for being my stepping stone, but now I'm going over here.
But see, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's that's his mentality that he's feeding his kids. Like the reason why I'm able to do what I'm able to do because I made it to the NFL. They don't think, oh, I'm going to start my own league and everybody's going to go there. Like that old school mentality, y'all get to the league. That's Dion's mentality because that's the league is what made him afforded him the ability to be prime time. So that's what he's going to teach and instill in his children.
Yeah. So
y'all need to make it to the league because that is the pinnacle.
Johnny says, but remember, Pittsburgh got rid of 2 black quarterbacks.
Yeah, they got rid of Fields and Russell Wilson, which, man, bro, I ain't no Russell Wilson fan, man.
Why you don't like Russell?
It ain't even gotten like people think it's just because of his little relationship. Man, Russell just I just don't like dude, man, with the stuff he be on, man.
Why you don't like Russell?
Let's ride. Like he be at.
Let's ride. What you mean?
He be having little corny catchphrases, man.
So like you think he corny?
A lot of stuff dude be doing.
It's corny.
Just be corny, man. And it's like I didn't
you ain't shit.
I'm saying, man, that's just calling a spade a spade. Like sometimes you could just be a corny individual. And if you didn't play football, like you didn't play it around a Russell Wilson one time or two. And it's just like, man, what is you on? Like some things I heard, like they was on the plane and he doing high knee, like he just doing weird stuff on the plane. I done heard all type of stories about dude, like, man, sit down somewhere, man. And then he don't halfway want to associate with the team because I heard he felt like when Marshawn Lynch ain't vouching for you for real and kind of calling you weird, like, it's something to that. You know, Marshawn was kind of like, man, dude was just kind of, he ain't say weird per se, but he was just like, man, dude just wasn't, he couldn't vibe with him. You know, and I can see that, man. Right, dude just looked like a dude that I just wouldn't want to hang around. It ain't got nothing to do with me want to hang around toxic people, man. You just got some personality that's just corny, man. Like some people just corny.
Well, they probably think you corny.
Listen, it's a few levels to like. I didn't associate it with a bunch of people. I got balance. I ain't never been described. The consensus ain't never been dude is corny. The consensus around him is like dude is corny, and then it's like, to me that's like Drake, like their mannerisms and their actions, it's everything just be looking corny that they be on.
So you think Drake corny?
1000%. I've always said that. Like when he on the sideline of games, just the way he be acting, like, dude, you trying to paint yourself in a light that, like, it ain't even that serious, Drake. Like, you don't need to be this tough guy. We don't care about that. You could sing the melodies, as dude said, and we cool with that. You know, but when you try to make yourself seem tougher than what you are, like, sit down somewhere. That's corny to me. Now, Russell Wilson ain't corny in that light, but I heard he thought he was better than a lot of his teammates and things like that. And that was just kind of the energy that he brought. And I don't like that. You know, I done played on teams, man. You not higher than the team. I don't care how good you think you are. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear about people being like that, and I kind of can see that in them, I don't rock with that. I'm good. My discernment be on point a lot of times, man. When I sense certain things about people, I be kind of on point with that. You know, and I get that from Russell Wilson. He's one of them dudes where you just feel like he's better than everybody, kind of in an indirect way. And I'm like, nah.
Because I got this bad bitch wife.
I got Sierra, I'm married, this and that. Y'all out here being hooligans. Like, it's just like, that's probably where I feel like that's
you
where
feel like he be saying like hooligans.
I feel like he be judging dudes. Like, even me, like, I eat a certain type of way, I live a certain type of way, but I can still hang around anybody because they don't feel judged. They don't feel like I feel like I'm better than them, even when I be eating a certain.
Y'all better get out. Come on, Isaiah, get off.
Ain't nobody never felt like I was judging. Ain't nobody felt weird being around me, no matter their circumstance. Is what I'm saying. You know, you be around Russ, them dudes felt like, man, dude, kind of. Ain't nobody ever got that from being around me ever.
Russell did. Now, if he ever see this, now he gonna feel that way. So,
man, I don't care about none of them individuals. I don't care about Russell. I don't care about none of them. I walk right past Russell Wilson. I don't care about these dudes in actual real life. It's only a few of these dudes that I would actually stop and be like, that's dude. And I still might not even say nothing to him.
So you too cool.
It ain't too cool. I don't look at these. I don't place them on a pedestal. Like, regular people just like me. Now, like I said, if I actually was inspired by you and I looked up to you at a point in time, then I'm gonna chop it up. If I saw somebody like Barry Sanders, oh yeah, for sure I'm gonna have a fan moment because he inspired me.
I can't see you having a fan moment.
If Barry Sanders, I'm having one. You know
what you gonna do, my love?
That'll be the one time I'm trying to get. I don't take pictures, but that'll be the one time like I want to take pictures for that, man. Barry Sanders is.
Hell no! I want a divorce because you don't even like taking pictures with me.
Man, listen, and we got a lot of pictures out the gate. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying for that
hell no
situation,
it's over. It's over, my love. Did you really just say that? You could have said anything else but that.
No.
You could say, "I want to ask for an autograph." I have to. Y'all understand? I have to. My love, take the picture. Take the picture. I have to do that. So for you to say that you would ask Barry stands for a picture.
You leaving out context clues because first of all, when we commit to taking pictures to you, it's 1,000 pictures that's coming with that. I'm gonna take one picture.
It don't matter.
I'm gonna take one picture with this dude. And
it don't matter. It don't matter. Y'all know how women be. Oh, we gotta do that one over. You know, I need to cock my leg a little bit.
That's the whole point why I said I wouldn't mind taking because me and Barry Sanders finna have an agreement that however this picture come out the first time, that's it, and we keep it moving, and you sign my jersey. And that's the end of the ball game right there.
I want a divorce because I cannot believe this.
Most of the other people
I cannot believe this.
They dead. So it ain't too many living people like that. But
please.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody that can play football that know Barry Sanders know that's the reason why I played what I played and had the number 20 in high school.
I want my papers today because I can't believe you said that. You could have said anything but take a picture. Anything but that. Anything but that. Please. Oh man. Thank you, Jax. How long can I find you? I can't believe this. This man who hates pictures with a passion, says, "Oh, I would ask him for a picture." Eric ain't even asked me for a picture. My lord, you don't even have a picture with your grandma, but you're gonna ask Barry Sanders?
First of all, I took pictures with my grandmother. They just don't have the pictures. I don't know where the pictures are. That ain't my fault. Like that, I don't know where the pictures are. That's what that is.
I feel so disrespected. Jack says, "Eric, do you only do calisthenics or lift? I need to get on your level."
I do both, but I mainly lift.
What's calisthenics mean?
Body weight exercises.
Oh. Yeah, you be doing both. Our connection trying to go out. Is our connection good, y'all? Let me see. They be hating on us. Yeah, it's looking grainy a little bit. It'll come back, but no, I ain't gonna stop tripping, Mike. Did you hear this man? Somebody he would ask for a picture. He hates pictures. Anyway, I ain't gonna keep you too long, Mike.
I hate talking, but here I am. You act like I ain't make, you know what I'm saying? You act like I love talking. So you, again, women leave out, they focus on what they want to focus on. You act like I'm a big fan of talking. You know good and well, I don't like talking. You know good and well, I don't like opening my mouth. And here I am. So if you gonna try to come at me for one thing, then praise this. Because I don't like talking. I could be sleep everything, taking a nap, but here I am choosing to talk. And you know how I feel about talking. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do that. You act like I love talking, so let's not do that. So you, again,
Jimmy Brown,
picking and choosing what you want to focus on.
Whatever, my love.
You know I don't like talking, and that so you. I like how you not.
Thank you, John.
That. I like how you ain't told him that. I like how you ain't said that.
I ain't said what?
That I don't like talking, and yet here I am. And everybody knows I don't like talking. I done told everybody this. Everybody know not to call me on the phone. Everybody know I don't like talking. Everybody know how hard talking is for me. And you ain't saying that. And here I am. Here I am.
I didn't say, you don't give me love and whatever,
I'm
but
saying, you making this
the
thing,
picture just hit a little different.
I hate talking. I hate talking more than I hate pictures.
No,
that's a fact.
It's not.
That's a fact.
That is not a
fact. First of all, because I have to talk more. It's not every day where I'm taking pictures. I'm not faced with a picture every day. I have to talk every day. So why would I definitely hate talking more.
He lying, y'all. He lying.
Okay, yeah.
My love, you want to be, for crying out loud, a motivational speaker.
Listen, go talk to the people in my gym. I had somebody recommend somebody to me at the gym, and this brother sent me a text, and in the text he said, "Hey, I was referred to you by such and such. She said you don't like talking, so I'm texting you." This is how people are referring people to me at my own
Thank you, L.
gym. They are telling new people that don't know me, do not call him because he don't like talking, and that's how they are communicating with me in the text. The man that ain't never met me in the text message was like, "I'm texting you because I heard you do not like talking for my business." I am telling you, I do not like talking. And anybody that deals with being an introvert, social, all that, y'all know what I'm talking about. Even at the first 10, 20 minutes of this, I had to warm up. I had to warm up. I have to warm up to talk. I'm not faced with having to take a picture every day. So why would I have more of a disdain for something I don't have to do every day, opposed to something I have to do every day that I dread? I have to talk every day. Yes, I hate that more.
He trying to clean it up.
I'm not cleaning nothing up for. I don't care. Yes, I said I was going to take a picture with Shedeur Sanders.
Exactly.
One person.
Exactly, but not me.
I don't care about that.
Anyway,
I've taken plenty of pictures with you, so you choosing not to accept that.
Anyway, thank you, L. It says, "Salute to the young king because Shedeur Sanders, the GOAT. She should be more understanding of people that inspire us in our journey of becoming a man." Shut up, L. Shut up. I ain't said thank you. You don't get on his side with this.
That's what I'm saying.
Get this off my screen. Get this gone. But I still appreciate you. But nah, we ain't gonna do that. She should be more understanding. No. You know what? Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. You got anything else you want to talk about?
And I just said how much I don't like talking, and you proceed to ask me that question. Why would I have anything else to talk about?
I mean, anything else you want to add on to the conversation?
No. The answer is always no. I'm not going to add anything that hasn't been asked to me in this conversation. So I'm not a person of parting words. Like the conversation just ends. That's it. I don't be doing all that.
On that note, y'all, salute. Thank you, my love, for coming and giving us your insight and your opinion on the situations regarding Shedeur, right? What's his name?
Yeah.
And Shannon. Okay. Thank you all also. And again, big shout out to L. I appreciate you for the 50. But thank you everybody who came through with a super chat, a cash out, a comment, a like, a subscription. I take none of y'all for granted. Thank y'all for pulling up with us, very random style. I know a lot of y'all was like, where your husband at? Why he don't be chopping it up? So he came through today, and we're gonna get him his pass. Even though, I feel away. I'm gonna let it slide today. But we love y'all. We're gonna see y'all in the next dope discussion, which should be tomorrow. And yeah, all right. But let me know y'all thoughts, opinions, and feedback about this in the comment section. What do you agree with, disagree with? What do you want to add on? And yeah, hold on. Teresa says Sergeant Maji, is that how you say that? Has spoken. I don't know who that is. Who you know who that is?
Well, it's me for the time being, I guess.
Oh, what's the Sergeant Maj? Major?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's major.
Y'all know. Look, Terrence, I'll be a little bit slow. It's a major. Okay, yeah. Please tell me. Okay, now I can kind of use context clues, but yeah, look, Sergeant Mayor Eric. Okay, I got y'all. I see what you did there. But I love y'all. And I'm gonna see y'all later. All right, my love. What you gotta do stuff. I gotta go to the store. So I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. We out. Peace.